Hi, everyone. I'm Henry DeVries with Wealth Authority TV. And we see wealth authorities are those financial advisors who are helping people out. I'm so happy to have Kelley Slaught with us today. Kelley, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, I think it's important to have you on. Tell us who you serve.
Who do I serve? Well, I specialize in retirement planning, pre-retirement, into retirement. I specialize in income planning and tax planning as well. So all those kind of things generally will go together because invariably somebody's selling their business, they're selling it for a large profit, they need to create income because they're leaving the job. So it all kind of goes together. So that's primarily my market, I would say.
And it's more than just doing the math. So tell us how you serve them and how you educate people.
Well, I do a lot of education. So I do seminars often on general topics, how to retire successfully, or I'll do product specific seminars on, a real estate program that creates income and growth type of thing. So I do a lot of seminars. I find that's a great way to reach a lot of people. I really focus on education, I think, for clients because one of the problems I think in our industry is people aren't educated. They don't know what's available to them. And when I sit down with someone and I talk about what I do and how I do it, and a lot of that is in my book here that you helped me write, but they don't know what they don't know. So their advisor, for instance, for a lot of years has just been doing stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. And there's certainly nothing wrong with any of that, but there's a wider array of investment options for folks out there. So I like to educate people on what's out there. And invariably, Henry, someone sits down with me and say, I wish I'd met you 10 years ago. I didn't realize I could do all these different things. So I think that's important to get across to people that there's a lot more than just stocks, funds, and mutual funds, and just educate yourself on it. And again, that's what we try and specialize in doing.
Kelley, I have another question for you, and it's in your opinion. In your opinion, what are some of the biggest image problems that financial advisors have, and how do you recommend that they overcome those image problems?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a lot of advisors don't come across to their clients, or they don't tell their clients perhaps that they are fiduciaries. Some advisors are not fiduciary. So what is a fiduciary? That means you're putting the client's needs before your own, any commissions or anything like that. You always have the client's needs first when you recommend something. And I think, unfortunately, there are advisors that don't do that. I do, of course, I always have, I always will. So I always make sure I lead with that when I talk to clients. And I think a lot of times advisors don't get back to their clients very quickly. And I think that's a misconception too. I can constantly do portfolio reviews. I'm constantly calling my clients back to making sure they know what's happening if they have a question or they need a statement or something like that. So I think a lot of misconceptions are we're doing things that are not appropriate for the client. Of course, that's being a fiduciary, making sure you're doing the right thing for the client. Of course, we ask a lot of questions before we make any recommendations at all. What's your time frame? What's your risk tolerance? Do you need liquidity? What is it that you need out of your portfolio? And I think, unfortunately, some advisors don't do that. And maybe that's a misconception out there that can happen.
If you don't ask all those questions, I've heard they think you're using a cookie cutter approach.
Exactly. And I say that all the time. I have a radio show. And again, I wrote my book with you. But
Well, show that book. You do too
my
fast. Show that
book.
book and read the title.
All right.
The
The Great
Great
Retirement
Retirement
Mystery.
Mystery. Yes, there
How to
we
avoid
go.
the 6 biggest blunders. Yeah. So this is part of education, right? How to avoid the 6 biggest blunders. I try and always help people avoid blunders. I don't want them making mistakes. So I talk about that on my radio show, but also in my book often, because I want you to know what's out there, what you should avoid, what you should look towards. So I think that's key to anybody. But education, meeting with clients, making sure they know that you have their interests at heart, getting back to them quickly, making sure their portfolio is continually doing what they want it to do for them, I think is a key to being a good financial advisor.
And that improves the image for everybody. Thank you so much, Kelley, for being with us today. So until next time, help those clients be healthy, wealthy, and wise.
There you go. I like it.